particularly to the youth of Colombia. My name is Ray. I'm here with Christian. We're two guys that have a very similar story, and we want to share our stories with all of you today. Because we want you to understand how we all got here and the opportunity that is before you, the opportunity that we took years ago, and it has made us into the people that we are right now. I think Christian is an amazing guy. I have a really nice story. I think it'll warm your heart. It warms my heart. So we're sitting in a very important time in history. We are in the middle of the biggest wealth transfer ever. And this wealth started being transferred years ago when Bitcoin was born. Because it allowed money to move around the world more freely, become more liquid. It's an amazing thing because when money can move around more freely, more wealth is created, more people are put to work, there are more jobs, there's more stuff being made. The whole world is better for it. This is the magic of being human. Human beings, we can work together so well and we can make everyone rich. Yes, it's possible. There are examples in history that have proven this. The 13 colonies in America is one of them. And when this beautiful nature of humanity is taken away or weakened by a money system that is broken, the result is poverty, and that is an artificial thing imposed upon humans. If you leave humans alone with an honest system of money, the result is abundance, prosperity, and wealth for all. History has proven this, and history will prove this again, because after this huge period of wealth transfer, there will be an even greater period of wealth creation. Because a lot of that wealth will have gone into the hands of young people like Christian here, who believes in building a new world, truly with all his heart. He's building a sustainable business, has built it, and wants to now educate others to do the same. And he's not here charging you $19.99 or a subscription. He's giving it away for free. And so am I. And that's beautiful. And that is the spirit of true wealth creation. When Bitcoin is allowed to flow, wealth is created. Now, here's something you might not have known about Bitcoin. In the very first version of Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto, there were functions in there, code for a marketplace functions, escrow function, liquidity functions, but they were taken out because it would have taken too long for Satoshi to figure out, like, to actually build a marketplace on it. It's a huge job to build and maintain a marketplace. I've been blessed to have been done it with Paxful. It's a blessing from God and the peoples of Africa and the world. But by and large, it's quite difficult, and especially Satoshi Nakamoto, he had to go invisible, right? And that was one of the best gifts that he gave us after Bitcoin, was he disappeared. So you couldn't target him, and you couldn't stop Bitcoin. It's beautiful, and truly in the spirit of peer-to-peer. So Bitcoin is really not complete until you have this marketplace, because that allows Bitcoin to reach everywhere, into the entire world, into every other form of money. Because you can trade other forms of money for it, whether it's cash in a bank account, gift card, or whatever. You can trade commodities, goods, services, everything. But people need a payment agnostic liquidity discovery tool to do this. And I've begun this journey with Paxful. It's been around for 7 years, and the experiment is a success. We now have a use case for Bitcoin besides just speculation, besides just a store of value. You can actually use it as a way to move money around the world, across borders, as easy as sending an email. And the peoples of the global south have proven it. Paxful has 10 million users. It has proven that money exchange with Bitcoin works. And in the most important places like Africa. Africa, our biggest market is Nigeria, leads global cryptocurrency adoption. So success, the experiment is true. Bitcoin has other use cases, and they're amazing use cases. And we'll be talking about some of those today with this brilliant young man who has built his business, and he will be going even deeper and sharing with you his tactics for, finding these trade routes, putting together a process for extracting value from them by offering value, and then possibly scaling them up, right? So you can make a lot more money at volume, put more people to work in operation, grow your business, build your own little Western Union or PayPal on top of Bitcoin and this magical thing called peer-to-peer finance. Thank you guys so much. And again, Youth of Colombia, guys, I love you. This one is for you. There's a huge opportunity in this country because the inflation here is really bad right now. It's going to get worse. People are worried it'll turn into the next Venezuela. God forbid. I hope it doesn't. But you should see everything that happens in the world of money as an opportunity now. Because if you can figure out a way to solve this problem for the right people, you can make money doing that. And you will help them. And you will help more people. So whatever bad happens in the world, we now have a way to not just fight back, but build for ourselves so we're not dependent on this system and we can continue with our business. And in the process of building a business around this, you, the entrepreneur, will make wealth for yourself and you will be successful. That's a beautiful win-win-win on every side. That's the beauty of business. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's the beauty of humanity, honestly. That's why we're going to win this thing. All right.
All right, yeah.
You good? Great intro. So I'm kind of a big city boy with a small town heart. I was born in Egypt, so my parents came to America when I was 2 years old for the promise of opportunity. And we found it. It was a very hard life, but we got it. I grew up in Hell's Kitchen, New York. I'm working at my parents' candy store, newsstand. Learned a lot about doing business on the streets with real humans from that. Learned how to do business from my mother. I learned a lot of lessons. They went to City College. It's called Harvard for the Poor. Like City College. It's a good college. Majored in history. Taught myself how to code when I was 19, when I got my first computer. Started building websites. Had two really successful ones. Then kind of disappeared from the face of the earth. Was a wandering martial artist. Trying to find myself, really. And I had a lot of failures in a row. Was kind of broken, actually completely broken. Ended up homeless like 8 years ago. I was homeless in New York. Built this business without taking funding from anyone, only by the help of God. Not a dime did I take from anyone else. No one believed in it. And now I'm the CEO, founder of Paxful. Paxful is an awesome thing we'll be talking about. But I want to show you the real magic that makes Paxful work. That's men like Christian Torres, who's a brilliant young entrepreneur who I respect immensely. He's also one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. But make no mistake, Christian is a hustler and a businessman. And he's learned how to do so through trial and error, through guts, and through a belief and determination in himself, a belief that he deserved better. He now enjoys a life of freedom. He can work anywhere. And I want to hear a little bit about your life story, bro. Like, how'd you get into Bitcoin and how'd you hear about peer-to-peer?
Well, a little bit about me. I was born here in Colombia, and at the age of 2, 3, I moved to Alabama. Lived there all my youth, high school, did a little community college, and all throughout I would come back and forth to Colombia. I'd have family here. It was up around the time of when I was doing community college where I was questioning the purpose, like what I wanted to do, and what I really wanted to do was I wanted freedom. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to explore and grow myself, and most importantly have the means to do so. So I took a risk and cut off my college and went all in to this entrepreneurship journey. Gave myself no other option but this has to be the one. And just a few years later, here I am, done thousands of trades.
You're our biggest trader on Paxful. You. Number one trader on Paxful in Colombia, Christian Torres. Good job, brother. It's a hell of a journey. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with me. So, Christian, you've been killing it, bro, and I want to know how, and we'll get back to that after this short advertisement from our sponsors. So, I'm here with Christian Torres, and this man is self-made in every way. He has built his own business on cryptocurrency, right? On Bitcoin specifically, peer to peer. I want to know your journey, brother. This is a beautiful journey. I'm very proud to be a part of that journey, that I helped build the platform, right, that you're using, which makes me feel great. And I'm very excited about a future where everyone can enjoy that kind of success. That all these brilliant young people that are in colleges now or have graduated and they're unemployed, right? This is a huge problem around the world. With Africa, places like Nigeria, South Africa, 55% youth unemployment. You're in Colombia, I'm sure you have something similar. But I imagine a world where everyone is put to work, right? And work is done, wealth is created, and wealth is created through free trade. And the one thing humanity's been missing is a free way to exchange money and make payments around the world. Bitcoin came to the world with that promise, and it delivered beautifully in 12 years. It went from being a niche kind of nerd money to something that the biggest players in the world are using, that hundreds of millions of people in the world are now using. But Bitcoin hasn't really found a use case that shut up all the critics yet, right? When people talk about Bitcoin, they talk about it as namely a store of value, a hedge against inflation. And in that sense, especially now, you see inflation rising dramatically. And the price of Bitcoin has risen also. It was twice as much 2 years from ago. But is that all there is to it? People talk about Bitcoin mining. Hey, you can mine Bitcoin and earn money, right? And people talk about Bitcoin and as something you can just buy and hold, store of value essentially, but also kind of investments. And all these other altcoins now, people invest in them greatly and they lose their money. 99% of people lose money when they buy altcoins, non-Bitcoins. It's the truth. And day trading doesn't work either for most people. Most people lose money. So is there something else that can be done with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Is there another use case? I'm very glad to say yes, there is, and this young man here has found it. Chris, I want to hear your story, brother. Like, how did you first hear about Paxful? How did you hear about Bitcoin? When was your first trade? Like, just lay it on me, man. You can start from the very beginning.
Yeah, brother, arbitrage. So I'm my background is from Colombia, where I was raised in the U.S. in Alabama, and I coming to Colombia, I found out that there was a if I were to sell Bitcoin here, I would be selling it 10% under the market price. So I was wondering, okay, what if I were to buy instead 10% under market price here in Colombia and sell it in the US 15-20% over the market price,
Ooh.
and using Bitcoin as a medium of that exchange and making profit in minutes online. And that's how I came into my journey with arbitrage and Bitcoin, and later on found bigger margins, more volume, more markets with Paxful, specifically with gift cards, the product retail market, and it's just endless opportunities to make money with Bitcoin arbitrage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Arbitrage using Bitcoin. So my question is, could this kind of marketplace have existed before Bitcoin? not really, because you never had a way to seamlessly send money across borders before, right? That was highly liquid and able to convert any form of payment to any other form of payment, right? You're doing arbitrage on gift cards, so imagine someone buying a gift card with cash, right? They'll lose a bit of money on that, let's say. No, I mean they buy it with cash in a drugstore, and then they sell it online for Bitcoin on Paxful, right? And then once they have that Bitcoin, they can take that Bitcoin and sell it for an entirely new, different type of gift card, or for a cash deposit or a PayPal transfer or whatever payment method we support anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of this. It kind of a marketplace, a people-powered peer-to-peer marketplace like Paxful, essentially allows people to have a universal translator for money. And arbitrage is that process of doing that, making those conversions, and ending up with a profit at the end. That's very powerful too.
And more than a profit, convenience. You know, you say if you need to send money to another country, there's a traditional routes. You know, one being Western Union. There's many factors when you do that. You lose time. It's delayed and a lot of fees, and it might not even go through at the end. So Bitcoin circumvents that, you know, and
What other options are there besides Western Union?
you can just directly from your bank account connect with another peer-to-peer trader on Paxful and buy, you know, send him your local currency and he'll send you Bitcoin,
Mm,
right? And
I see. And also,
and then with the Bitcoin, you can sell that Bitcoin for US dollars in any payment method in the US.
yes, and what's even interesting, even more interesting, is remittance. You can do remittance in that same way, where if you have Bitcoin, you can sell it to, say, someone in Kenya, and they'll send your brother or sister some money via M-Pesa, which is the top online wallet in Kenya. 98% of Kenyans have an M-Pesa account. They don't have bank accounts though, but M-Pesa does the job, right? So you're basically doing a local transaction to a local transaction, but you're giving people a Bitcoin in exchange for that, and they can also use they want the Bitcoin because they can use it within the ecosystem. Say he wanted to buy some goods in China, he would take the Bitcoin, sell it to a guy in China, and say, hey, pay this Alipay with this invoice from Alibaba with your Alipay account, please. Person would do it for him. He'd give him Bitcoins in exchange. Beautiful. So now our money can jump across borders at a whim, because we have access to this magical network of friends, right, around the world who will let us borrow one of their accounts for receiving or sending. Beautiful. So we can all now share our financial accounts with each other, whether it's a bank account, a PayPal account, cash, whatever it might be. And Bitcoin lubricates all that, allows things to flow. Very powerful invention. And all you have to do is like browse our order listings to figure out what your trade route for that big arbitrage would be. Can you give anyone any tips on, like, when they look for all those listings of offers and liquidity, what should they be looking for?
So in my case, for example, me being from Colombia, you know, you'll always look where you're from, where you have connections, you know. So I had connection here in Colombia and in the US. And I found out I could turn Bitcoin into products at a discount in the US and sell them and have a continuous arbitrage cycle. And that's just one of hundreds of ways that you can make money with Bitcoin.
Okay, so I can see that's
Paxful,
drop shipping,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember one of the first few users of Paxful was a guy that came on, and apparently he did all this drop shipping. He bought a lot of stuff from eBay and Bed Bath and Beyond, and you know he buy stuff from Bed Bath & Beyond listed on eBay for 5% over the price they'd find it for directly on Bed Bath & Beyond, and that's how he squeak out his living.
Hmm.
When he found out you could get Bed Bath & Beyond gift cards for 50 to 30% off on Paxful, he couldn't believe it. And he tried it, and his margins just increased by like 10x or more. Not a bad,
Yeah.
not a bad change there. Is that how you use Paxful,
Yeah.
Robert?
Yeah. So you would use the gift cards yourself and, buy a product at a discount on top of what you would sell it at already. Or you could resell them. You could connect your Paxful account, develop a way to scale and get more gift cards and resell them to market and increase volume, increase profit. So, and that's what you're going to find on Paxful. It's just endless opportunities of scale and use Bitcoin as this medium of money, on a true money system, giving you true independence in terms of using money and allowing you.
So dropshipping, another example. Gift cards, you're making a business with that as well. And also buying Bitcoin cheaply here in Colombia and selling it in other places like America. So it sounds like you've got 3 trade routes at least, which you're making money on here. Is this true?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So here's an example of someone who's not mining, not speculating, not holding, or I'm sure you do hold quite a bit of Bitcoin as well, which is smart. But you're not really depending on those things for cash flow. You actually built a business, right? If you're a hustler, if you're creative, and if you're good at dealing with people, because there is a chat here in Paxful, you actually get to know and meet real people, build loyalty. If you can do those things, you can make a living doing arbitrage trading. And that's the power of peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is the way true arbitrage trading has to be. Because we, the people, can then find where the unserved routes are, right? So if there's high margins on some of these routes, it means that they're not being served well. And that could be for a variety of reasons. It can be for domestic controls where they live. It can be for international capital controls imposed on the country in which they live, which bleed down to them and they suffer. It can be for sanctions. It can be for all kinds of things, right? And whenever these problems occur and money is stopped, and when I talk about money, I'm talking about perfectly legitimate money. This is not gray. This is white stuff. This is people that just need to make a payment, receive money, make things happen quicker and faster. They turn to this. They turn to peer-to-peer. Like literally a friend of yours or someone that could be just like you, living on the other side of the world, can help you with a transaction that you otherwise would not have been able to do at all. Because they may have a bank account in Nepal and you need to pay some bill there for something that is critical to your business over here in Colombia. You never know what weird trade routes develop in the world, but you can bet there's many waiting to be discovered. And Paxful helps you find them because it connects people with people. And all this is built upon Bitcoin. As you said, the world's most honest form of money, because Bitcoin is backed up by real work. It's a beautiful thing. I'm glad to have been building on this my whole life and not wasting my time speculating on shitcoins. That's a dark path for a lot of people, but
Yeah.
we have examples here of someone, a young man. You're only 25, bro?
25. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Our stories are actually very similar. You came to Alabama when you were 3 years old.
Yeah.
From Colombia.
Yeah.
I came to New York from Egypt when I was 2 years old. So we're both first generation immigrants. We both spent most of our time growing up in America. And now you're back to your roots right here and
Yeah.
helping to build up this amazing place. And that's beautiful. Like entrepreneurs who are successful with arbitrage trading, they naturally have a very generative worldview, right? You want to help build up the world around you. And you took what you learned from the United States. You came here to Colombia and you're looking to build here. That's awesome. These are the kinds of people we need in the world. These are the kinds of people that are attracted to arbitrage trading because you can do it from anywhere.
Mm.
You can do it from your bedroom. You can do
Yeah.
it from a cafe downtown. You can be anywhere in the world and do this. And that kind of freedom is absolutely priceless.
Time and location freedom is the ultimate freedom.
It
And
truly
that's
is.
what peer-to-peer allows. You know, you can, once you're in this, it's pretty much you got a Bitcoin wallet and you have access to these payment methods and you can already participate in these trades. And after that, it's pretty much spotting out margins and trade routes where you can make profit and provide liquidity and,
Wow.
and increase business and volume, support the free market.
Yeah, so I really want to understand the day in the life of an arbitrage trader. Like, what are the biggest challenges that you have? What are the things you do repeatedly throughout the day? Give us an example of, how much you kind of like have to deal with as far as assets, meaning like how many bank accounts you need, or Amazon accounts, or this and that. Just give us an idea of the day to day, especially.
That's a great question. The biggest challenge is scaling. And when it comes to scaling, it's pretty much partnerships, with people. So you can do this arbitrage. At the end, this is peer-to-peer finance. So it requires two people or more, depending on how large you want to scale this. And in the case of reselling gift cards, in the case of getting gift cards on Paxful, reselling them, you can scale that depending on how many clients you get and a way you can coordinate the delivery to the client. And once you get at that level, it's systems, bots, these financial products that connect to the masses, and you can create a lot of volume within just one market, one specific payment method.
Wow, yeah.
Like Amazon gift card.
Yeah, so focus on one trade route at a time, one payment method at a time. Learn the ins and outs of that because, scaling is a challenge for a lot of reasons. Finding the right talent to help you, automating the systems, dealing with some of the challenges on a marketplace, like there can be fraud, a lot of fiat transactions. So you have to know the ins and outs of each payment method, right? Beautiful. So,
Yeah. So risk management is a part of this whole trade process.
mhm.
In every trade there's, terms of a trade, instructions, and, accumulated experience, with gift cards and accounts, you eventually can avoid that, and there's many factors, how many accounts you have, which relates to how many people because at the end of the day, both of you can be making money and and continue making money by growing this ecosystem, because that's what peer-to-peer is, and that's how I've gotten here after 5 or so years uh, growing in peer-to-peer trading. And on top of just profits, it's given me convenience to make payments. Uh, just finance should be like this. Finance should be very simple, and that's what you're gonna find with Bitcoin, peer-to-peer trading, Paxful, these marketplaces, these markets, and all these routes and methods, trade methods.
That's the amazing thing, right? Like, for the first time ever in history, all this money that was trapped in all these different places that needed to go somewhere else can now finally start flowing again and be liquid again. It brings a tremendous amount of trapped and lost wealth back into the game. And when money goes into circulation, more people can share that money. That creates movement, that creates wealth. So everything that happens here is really good for humanity because we, as people in this space, we have some really big vision. I have a dream. I see something. And I know it begins with inspiration. Like you want to really inspire people to pursue a path. You want people to really feel something emotionally. I have a very emotional story, at least for me. And I was homeless in New York 8 years ago. I had gone through like 11 startups. I failed almost all the time. And I had come to a point where I had to truly be humbled and ask God for help. And I did so. It took a lot for me to get there, but I did it. And I got my wish. I'm here now, running a company of 400 people and helping to really grow a movement. And I have the most incredible community customers in the world, people like yourself, that are building in the place that matters most, and that is fixing this broken money system. This is beautiful. So I consider my story quite inspirational, and I'm happy to share it. And your story is also inspirational, and there are many people in Paxful that are doing this. So by example, we must share our story and inspire, and then we must onboard. We want people to join this revolution. Get your first
Exactly.
Bitcoin.
There's a lot of clouded information right now in the crypto space. Especially with NFTs and so much more.
Mm-hmm.
When the first version of Bitcoin had these functions for marketplace.
The first version of Bitcoin developed by Satoshi Nakamoto, the very first version he put out, there were several marketplaces for escrow, marketplace functions. Why? Because this is actually, Bitcoin is a lot more than just a digital currency. It really was a seed of defiance that was planted in 2008. The 2008 financial crisis showed everyone in the world what damage could be done to money markets, how fragile they really were, how weak and broken our money system was. And then later you had Bitcoin, right? Peer to peer electronic cash. Now, 2022, fast forward, we have 141 countries choosing to sanction the biggest energy and food producer in the world. Wow. That means you're getting Eurasia joining the global south on a different money system than the United States and Europe, SWIFT. You're going to have a fracture, and you're already having it. You're seeing it, a fracturing of two worlds financially. What is going to be the glue that holds all that together? And now I can't do business or hire people in this country because what? This country doesn't like that country? And everyone suffers? Now we truly need this decentralized, this peer-to-peer marketplace. Peer-to-peer electronic cash, Bitcoin, great. Now we need this peer-to-peer electronic marketplace to connect all this liquidity together and to allow the money to keep flowing, to keep moving and moving better than ever before, no matter who's angry at who. Using money should be a human right. So this is the work that Satoshi Nakamoto started. Everything I'm personally doing to decentralize my company, Paxful, is all going to be built on Bitcoin. It's not going to be built on Ethereum or my own blockchain. I don't believe in those things. I'm not saying some of those things don't have merit, but it's the best interest of humanity that we all put maximum momentum behind a single blockchain, a single network, and that is Bitcoin. And that's what we're doing, brother. I'm going to be decentralizing Paxful slowly over the next 2 years until it's an option that everyone can use. So I believe in serving the 100% of humanity. If you're excluding anyone for whatever reason, I don't think that's fair. I think financial services should be a human right.
And it should be as easy as communication is,
Yes.
sending, receiving money, giving work, and getting paid. It should be as very simple. It shouldn't be what it is now.
When the world as a money system that flows as easily as email, the whole world will change, because we really have to understand how broken the situation is right now to appreciate the truth behind that statement. Because the reason some parts of the world are always kept in poverty and some are not is because there are parts of the world that are kept in a system of what I call financial or economic apartheid. The central powers, the people that control the central banks, have a lot of power to say, hey, we don't like you, so we're going to punish you by jacking up the inflation rate on your money. Very easy for them to do. We're going to put a sanction on you. We're going to give you a bad credit rating. We're going to do all these things to hurt you, right? Financially, without a single shot being fired if they don't do what they're told. And one of the things they really hate is when countries say, hey, we're going to use our greatest creative power, which is to issue money, and we're going to print up all this money and put all our young people to work building roads, wells, schools, factories. If some leader in the global south should do that, he would get a phone call from somebody, and they'd be like, no, you should really borrow our money at interest, dollars or euros, before creating your own money. If you do that, your money will be inflated. Not naturally, they're going to attack it using their power. And because of that gun they're holding to their heads, people are continually unemployed. Economies are kept at a low rate of performance. Look at like Africa. And then because they have these systems that corrupt those in power around them with the almighty dollar or euro or money in some French bank account, like you have in the entire CFA system, the Central African franc system in Africa, which is outright slavery, the situation becomes inescapable. Not just for the people, but also the country itself. It is really neocolonial slavery through financial means, through economic apartheid. And even if you have a bank account in whatever country you live in, say you have a bank account in Nigeria or Egypt where I'm from, good luck trying to get any money out of the country. They will not take your Egyptian pounds and give you dollars, the government. Central bank wants to hold on to that money for itself. That's the only thing that props up the money, the value of their money, the local Egyptian pound in that case. So as an Egyptian, you can't escape Egypt, and your money can't escape either. And the same goes for a lot of places in the world. If your money can't get out of the country, you can't buy stuff to import in to sell at a profit. There's a lot of stuff that you cannot do. Essentially, the central bankers have kind of put that country on a blacklist. There's an imbalance there, right? That's not natural. They're saying, hey, your people are trapped in their little economy. Your money is not as good as our money. That's it. And they stay poor. Investment doesn't want to come in because they know they can't get money out, right? And you can blame the local governments for that, but they're really acting to external international pressures from central sources. Now, when we can decentralize this marketplace, one of the best things that it opens up is price discovery. Because all of these peer-to-peer trades happening for fiat or whatever else will give us a real trading value of every fiat currency to the US dollar. Now with that, we have an alternative to the Forex price. So what we've done is we've taken the black market or the gray markets of the world where people buy money, and we've made it white. We've shined a light on the whole thing. Here it is, completely transparent on the blockchain. Wow, problem solved. There's a way to go even further with all of this. And again, we have to keep things in scope. Bitcoin was just the foundation for this, is the wallet that we needed. Now with this marketplace and these escrow functions, with these other bits and pieces on top of the system, we have something that actually functions like a civilization kit that humanity can just fork and spin off for their own uses, and they'll have everything necessary to run a government. Because let's face it, the only part of really effective governance is usually financial. It's economic, right? If you have all that ready to go, and it works. It's generative. It's built on honest money, backed up by work, human work. Wow, that's all humanity needs for all of us to be wealthy, to have everything we need. And by wealth, I mean you have a home, you have a car, you have all the food you need, and you have free time. Free time is the most important, to educate yourself, to improve yourself. I believe a world where everyone can have that. And that's what makes us different from the old world. We're pro humanity over here. We believe humanity can create a utopia here on Earth, really. All we need to do is just put people to work. And all money is incentivization. And now, here, we've got all the tools necessary to make it happen. So thanks, Christian, for being a part of that, brother. Teaching more people how they can be free. Like, what's better than being young, being free, as in you can travel around the world, you can work anywhere, and making a living, doing something you love. Like, you have that, and you're living a great life. Wow.
It feels great, and it's once you get to that point where it's pretty much where you just need the scale, you can get attached to a mission-driven goal. So there's two sides of the arbitrage operation. I would have clients, and then I would have my own system of to do arbitrage with accounts and partners. So like multiple people. So and you can scale into hundreds of people.
Wow.
You can make a financial product to serve a market of thousands. Connected with Paxful. Paxful has an API, and just automate and connect this thing, and you're adding liquidity to the global market. And
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like a bulletin board for liquidity, and it's payment method agnostic, right? This is essentially, it's like a switchboard for moving all the world's money around. Really, this is for allowing money to jump across borders, right? Because money usually within a country has no problems moving around, right? The country's banking system works, whatever. But getting from the country to the country next door is extremely difficult sometimes. Places, especially in places like Africa. Africa has 2,000 payment networks. Only 3% of them actually talk to each other. Unlike M-Pesa in Kenya, you can talk to anyone else on M-Pesa in Kenya, but you can't send money to an M-Pesa user in Ghana. Even though it's the same network, technically the same company, all those laws there keep you from being able to go through them. Bitcoin solves that because the regulators can't say, hey, you can't use Bitcoin. Anyone can use Bitcoin. This is very powerful. It means all the money out there can get unstuck. And it also means that arbitrage traders as a profession and the need for them will always be huge, especially now after what happened this year, right? This is the time. This is the era of peer-to-peer traders, right? So you got to sign up. I wish you were joined with my affiliate link because people make, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year using our affiliate program. Give you 50% of our escrow fee, which is very nice. We might actually have to lower it because people are making it so much. But it's cool because I get to onboard you. I'm the CEO, can join my link. You can join Christian's link. I think it's join Christian's. I really do want to join mine. And that's one of the ways here we can start with nothing, right? Like, because the biggest question people have is, how much can I start with? How much do I need? $100, $1,000, $10,000, $500,000. One Bitcoin is so expensive. One Bitcoin is 20,000 US dollars. That's too expensive. I don't have that. So that's where education comes in, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, even a single dollar worth of Bitcoin, right? One Bitcoin is broken up into 100 million sats, Satoshis, very small pieces of a Bitcoin, worth cents, right? Or fractions of a cent. And then, how do I get started? You can get started with nothing using the affiliate program. If you want to get traded, You can start with like $50 worth of Bitcoin or less. It depends on the transaction you do for the amount. But there's arbitrage opportunities available everywhere. Would
Yeah.
you say that's the case? You can start with
Yeah, you
nothing.
can start with nothing. And on top of that, you can start arbing with nothing. You know, you join a peer-to-peer community, arbitrage community, and start, you know, you could provide an account and make profit by just providing an account, like an Amazon account, for example, and partnering up to do gift card arbitrage. And, you know, so there's room for everyone and anyone to participate and make money and add liquidity to this global ecosystem.
That's an important point. There's room for everyone. Guys, like, this is a huge problem. There's so much liquidity in the world that is trapped, that is not being represented, broadcast, people are not discovering, and there's so much financial help that people all over the world need, whether it's with remittance, making the payments, commerce. These are real use cases besides speculation and store of value, right? There's a lot of stuff happening, guys, and you can discover what's happening and turn that into a real business, right? From your home. That's pretty cool. Most people in crypto have never really understood or heard about arbitrage trading either.
Mm-mm.
And that's the thing. Some people have questions like, hey, do I need to know all about blockchain and cryptography and be super technical to do this? Be an arbitrage trader?
No,
No?
no, you just need a Bitcoin wallet. It's really easy. It's just like having an email, and say you have an Amazon account, boom, there you go. You can convert that Bitcoin into, say, $100 Amazon credit on your account, and for $60, $70, buy $100 product and make $30 profit on $70, which is like 40% return on investment, and scale that into, you know, if you make 1,000, if you do 1,000 volume in one day, that's a few $100 profit in a day. You know, you can make a few $100 profit in a few minutes. You know, I've done many gift cards back to back, had clients had used them in some accounts. You can make hundreds of dollars in minutes, and, you know, making profit on top of using it conveniently. Say if I'm traveling to the U.S. or vice versa, and I have fiat and locally here in Colombia, I can just quickly convert that into Bitcoin, you know, with my bank account or a deposit, and sell that Bitcoin to my Zelle or to my bank account in the U.S. or any payment method in the U.S. or gift cards in the U.S. and even at a profit and at lightning speed at any moment of the day. And that's how money should be. That's
Say you're someone living in Berlin and you're sending money back home to your sister in Kenya. You're going to pay 20 Western Union 20%. Send 1,000 euros, you'll pay 200 euros. Yikes. And you're going to have to wait till the next day or 2 days later for it to clear. And your sister's going to have to wait, go somewhere far, wait on some long line to pick up the money, right? Now, you can literally sell some Bitcoin to some guy in Kenya and say, here's my sister's number, pay me by sending money to her M-Pesa account. And he does it instantly. A couple seconds later, her sister gets the money, and she's like, where did this money come from? I actually did this with a friend, and she worked so well that she actually turned it into a business herself. Because get this, she was able to buy the Bitcoin cheaply in Germany with a simple bank transfer locally in Germany with her German bank account. And then she could actually sell the Bitcoin at a 4% profit over market in Kenya because it's more scarce in Kenya. People are willing to pay more for the Bitcoin. So instead of paying 20% to send money and wait 2 days, the money came instantly straight to her sister's phone and she made a plus 4% profit. Wow. That's the power of arbitrage for remittance. And all these opportunities exist. You just have to go there, find the right offers, verify this trade is good, do the trade, boom, rinse and repeat. And you might have your own little version of Western Union or PayPal.
Exactly.
Wow.
Once people have that light bulb moment in their head, they can visualize a way that they can scale, like you said, make their own Western Union, make their own, with Amazon gift cards, their little product reselling. There's hundreds of thousands of markets all over. Um,
Yeah.
they're just waiting for smart young people uh, that are curious and eager to to be a part of this new era. And with Bitcoin, you have it. Bitcoin peer-to-peer finance, Paxful. You're able to do this uh, at a large scale independently.
Absolutely. And there's so much more room for discovery, right? Because you've got 400 payment methods, you've got 120 currencies, you've got, Bitcoin, USDC, UT. You take all that and you multiply it by each other, and those are all the possible trade routes that you could have, and then exponentially again, because there's two, right? Like everything to everything. That's an amazing amount of possibilities there. And as the advice I would give any entrepreneur is approach this on the entrepreneur's journey, which is number one, find a problem, solve a problem for a specific community, and you focus on a specific community that you have a close connection to so you can get that feedback and keep iterating and improving the product until it satisfies their needs in a beautiful way that creates value that they're willing to pay you for. Then you have cash flow. Now, if it's going to work for that particular community, I bet you it'll work for others. And that's when you begin to scale, right? So it's great that we have examples of remittance and all this. Payments. Um, I know it's really interesting because you never know when a new opportunity is going to be created. Like, for example, there's many new opportunities now, right? With what's happening in the world with money people can't even pay their workers in places like Russia now, right? They're programmers,
Oh
right?
wow!
Why do they have to suffer? So every time something happens in the world, new opportunity emerges. Whether it's a new capital control that people, I don't know, of Botswana are imposing on their people. Because of that, people are going to suffer. Business is going to shut down. You can help restore that, and you can earn a profit for doing so. And I think that's the thing that's it's so powerful and it's so good in that we take the black markets that develop naturally around the world when it comes to money and converting it, and we shed a light on them, and they become light, they become transparent. Everyone can see what's happening here. Everyone can do these trades. This is the escrow, right? The escrow allows, in a fiat to crypto trade, the escrow allows the side with the fiat to go first because they know the crypto is there. Because you can escrow the crypto but not the fiat. That's something that's very important that people have to understand about why this works, is because you can escrow the crypto quite easily, right? Whereas escrowing fiat is an extremely cumbersome process.
It's like you mentioned, like for credit debit cards, there's the auth hold. That's the escrow. Whenever.
Exactly. And in that sense, every e-commerce site in the world uses escrow, right? Because you put an auth hold on your card, that's the status on any kind of debit card or credit card, where they hold the amount. They don't necessarily haven't taken it from your bank account, but once the merchant says, yes, I've shipped the goods, then they take it, right? So it's an escrow until until they ship the goods. All of e-commerce runs on that. Now we have an escrow for money, for these OTC transactions, and now all this money can flow around the world. We're solving the biggest problem ever, brother. How does that make you feel?
Great, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun changing the world.
And it's even funner to have a movement, to a bigger movement. There's already a strong movement now, and the idea is to get this to be 100%.
Exactly, guys. So if you guys are, if anyone's listening to this and they're looking at Bitcoin and crypto and they're wondering what's the next Bitcoin? Is it Doge? Is it Shiba Inu? Or maybe I should start mining, or maybe I should start day trading. No, there's something better than that. Hodling is good, but there's something way better than hodling, and that's taking that money and creating a business out of
Yeah.
it by leveraging arbitrage.
Exactly.
And you don't need to be brilliant with numbers. You don't need to be brilliant with cryptography. You don't need to be technical. You don't need a tremendous amount of startup capital. You don't need any startup capital. It's just straight up human hustle and drive. Don't need to be technical. And you can just make it happen just like selling lemonade, honestly. It's very basic business dynamics, but you have to go deep and dive into the risk management of each of the payment methods that you use. And you have to be studious with caring for your accounts, knowing their tolerances, what
Yeah.
should and should not be done. You have to continue to build a loyal network of traders around you. Your reputation is critically important, folks. That's what money is all about. It's all about reputation and trust. If you got all that, you're guaranteed to succeed. It's only a matter of time. Christian, it's been awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I've
You
really
you
enjoyed this.
mentioned, yeah, man, this has been awesome. Uh, you had mentioned, or we were talking earlier about like a points system for this marketplace, which is based on someone's reputation and trust.
Yes. So, the value that a company like Paxful brings is a lot of it is really our reputation system. How reputable is this person? How many trades have they done? How many trades have they done with different people? How many of those trades the person gives them good feedback rating? How many of those trades was that person responsive? How many, like the people that this person trades with, how do they look like? The high level people, the new or the old, or the what payment methods are they dealing with? There's a lot that goes into a trader and figuring out if they're trustworthy or not. Because if you put an honest offer in front of an honest customer, what can go wrong? Very little. 1/2 of 1% of all trades on Paxful have issues. 99.5 have no issues. That's an amazing number, especially in markets like India, Nigeria, China, markets with a lot of fraud. But we managed to figure out a lot there, and our reputation systems add a tremendous amount of value. But we need to take all that now and make it decentralized. It has to be automated rules around all this stuff that everyone can adhere to. And this marketplace needs to live somewhere as a protocol that people can build applications like on top of, just like people build wallets on top of Bitcoin. They can build markets on top of this marketplace. And Paxful will do that as well. But it must exist as a protocol that anyone can use. There must be a certain level of anonymity. If people want a KYC, and many people will want a KYC, especially for large volume trades between OTC people, even those people that you do a trade with will ask the KYC, but no central organization will ask this.
Yeah.
That's a dream I have. People ask me, you'd essentially be putting your company out of business. And I'm like, well, if I have to do that, I'll do it for the mission. But it's not really putting my company out of business. It's just sharing its liquidity with the world, allowing other people to build markets just like my company's markets. You want to build your own version of a marketplace, a people-powered marketplace for OTC trades in Zimbabwe, or commodities trades in Malawi, or whatever it might be, the sale of art and goods in Ecuador. Go
And
ahead.
right now in Colombia, with the presidential elections that just took place, there's going to be huge change, and with that, I see huge opportunity, especially in the peer-to-peer market.
Absolutely, guys. Colombia is Paxful's biggest market, and you can only understand how amazing Colombia is if you come to Colombia. Mi
Yeah.
gusto Colombia. It's an amazing place. It's our biggest market in Latin America by numbers, but the amount of hustle and ambition and talent here is amazing. Medellin is an amazing city. It's like the real new crypto valley. Some brilliant people here doing some amazing things. I'm excited. And again, it goes back to what you're saying about the community. The Bitcoin community is an amazing community, guys. And people say, hey, what's the difference between Bitcoin and crypto? Bitcoin is the solution, crypto is the distraction. Like you were saying before, we're all distracted with this talk of NFTs and all of these new coins and new promises and projects, but most of these things are vaporware. They don't really make any sense. They never did. And they'll never pan out because you can't give a new team of kids, $4 billion and expect them to actually
Okay.
do any work. So we're living in a world that's seemingly gone completely insane, local, right? Mundo local.
Yeah.
And it's going to get worse and worse, crazier and crazier with this thing that's happening with Russia and the United States and Ukraine, with this thing that is now causing all kinds of pain around the world economically. Things are only going to get worse and worse in situations like this. We're here in Colombia right now, an amazing country that has been the sanctuary for many Venezuelans.
Mm.
Venezuelans have been hit with massive inflation that has destroyed their economy, turned their people from riches, the richest country in Latin America, one of the richest in the world, to having to beg. And people are worried that that same thing might happen here in Colombia, because the inflation has been going up quite considerably over the past 5 years. And God forbid that happens, but anything can happen in this local world
Yeah.
we live in.
And it is happening. We hit historical highs against the peso, against the dollar in the past week, 2 weeks. So
There you go.
it's
So
happening. You know, the presidential elections just took place, and
exactly. So what all imagine what the Venezuelan people went through. But think of this very small community in Venezuela that got into Bitcoin early in Venezuela. Getting into Bitcoin early in a country that's going through hyperinflation is like getting into Bitcoin in 2009, a year after it was launched, because the value of your Bitcoin will go up so high against the local currency, say in this case the Colombian peso, that you will be rich, or at the very least you will be able to serve and keep your wealth safe. And what's beautiful about arbitrage trading is that the whole time you're keeping your wealth in Bitcoin or earning in Bitcoin, you are also making money with the sheer trade and movement of the arbitrage, right? With each transaction, with each trade route being accomplished, each cycle. And that is a huge opportunity. Do you see that? Do you think young people, the youth here in Colombia, should see this high inflation in Colombia as an opportunity, or is it possible to be an opportunity now, thanks to that we have Bitcoin and arbitrage trading?
definitely, and it connects with what you just said about how a small group in Venezuela, you know, like the first few that were in Bitcoin, you know, in a economy that went under hyperinflation, you know, they got rich
They did. They
and
got very rich, actually,
yeah,
um, and that could be you right here in Colombia right now. Because what's coming here? Where is the sanctuary? Where is the place where you can be safe from the storm? And it is
mm,
the world of Bitcoin, right? But you can do a lot more than just hold your wealth in Bitcoin. You can earn wealth in Bitcoin
yeah,
through trading. This is where the smart money is. If you are young, if you have the energy and ambition and you want to educate yourself and you want to do something, this is your call to action right now. stop everything, and start learning about Bitcoin. And then buy your first Bitcoin. And you can buy your first Bitcoin on a place like Paxful with any form of payment in the world, whether it's cash, a bank transfer, online wallet, anything. Wonderful. Now that you got your first Bitcoin, it's time to figure out how you can turn it into more Bitcoin, right? And that's a magical process. It's a journey. But wow, you guys are sitting on a huge opportunity. Mi gusto Colombia. I love this country. You're good, strong people. We believe in God. Got some great hustlers among you, and more will be born and made. My company, Paxful, I'm very proud to say, believes in education, and we don't just make token donations here and there. We actually build for education. It is primary in our minds. We have a long-term perspective, at least 20 years. I also have a non-for-profit called Built with Bitcoin. Our mission is to build 100 schools and wells across the world. We've already built 10, so we're well on our way. And 95% of everything you donate goes to actually helping people on the ground. This is real stuff, right? Cool. I'm very proud of that. But education really is the key. We've built some educational centers in cities around the world, and we continue to build those. We know, but primarily, like, education just for education's sake, it kind of turns people off these days. We've had too much of our time wasted. But education for the sake of like an immediate call to action that will be generative, that will be sustainable, that will create a revenue stream for yourself and show you how you can help people improve their business. This is business. This is the essence of business. And now we're allowing everyone, every human being in the world, to get in on the financial services business, right?
Yeah.
You can have your own financial service. I met a guy in Paxful. I met him in South Africa. He was really smart. He focused on a problem, which is Nigerians, immigrants living in South Africa who were working there, earning money, and then they wanted to send that money back home to mama in Nigeria.
Hmm.
But they couldn't do it, right? Like, they had to use something like Western Union, which is very expensive and crummy. So he told them, just deposit the local money you get paid with in my local bank account, and he took that money, and he said, I will make sure it goes directly to your mother's bank account in Nigeria, or to her, online mobile wallet, right?
Yeah.
And all he did was sell the Bitcoin in Nigeria to someone on Paxful, and they did a local bank transfer, and he earned money both ways, and gave people a much faster, instant service, really.
Okay.
That's an example of someone building, again, their own little version of Western Union,
Yeah.
right?
So an example here in Colombia, if you have a Bancolombia account, which is like the main bank account that the national bank account here in Colombia, if you have that, you can pretty much transfer open a trade and transfer from your bank account, from your Bancolombia, Da Vivienda, Banco Bogota, any bank account, because there's many traders that'll accept any of these bank accounts here in Colombia. So you convert your your balance in your Bancolombia and pesos to Bitcoin, and then you convert that Bitcoin to pretty much anything anywhere in the world. And in this case, if you're here in Colombia, if you want to protect yourself from inflation, you convert it into Bitcoin. You can convert into USDT, and and do on top of, for store of value. And why not do some arbitrage? Why not do some peer-to-peer trade and grow your wealth?
Yeah, because it works. It's just like selling lemonade, right? The problem with day trading is you see the price of Bitcoin go up. Oh, I'll sell a little bit now, and I'll buy back when it gets low. And then it becomes games of chicken and nerves and emotions, and most people lose money doing that. But with peer-to-peer trading, you're almost always guaranteed to make money, unless there's fraud. And there usually is a learning curve with that in the beginning. But once you get over that, you have a guaranteed way to make money. And you can do so from anywhere. Sipping a coconut in Miami, I don't know, or in Thailand. That's pretty awesome, dude. Part of me is so thankful that we can live a life. We're not bound to any one place, where we make our own hours, where we're free. That's worth, to me, billions, like it's a blessing, you know. In a remote world, that makes sense. So,
Yeah, it's it's like you said before, how a country can go from complete poverty to just uh, abundance of wealth within 4 years. And
yes, there's been many examples. And one of the best ones is the American colonies. That's a country that went from wealth and success, 0% unemployment, to 60% unemployment in less than a year. And it all happened when they switched their money system. They had something called colonial script, which was just backed by work. It wasn't gold or silver or anything. And that's it. And just that allowed them to balance the amount of money in circulation with the amount of potential work that could be done, put everyone to work, and it created a vibrant economy that was so impressive and renowned around the world that it was said that a colonist in the new 13 colonies had a better standard of living than a nobleman in France. King George heard about this. He called over Benjamin Franklin. He said, "What's going on?" And Benjamin explained the situation. You just have colonial script, honest money created by work. That's all. He heard that. He said, "Well, no. Now I think you have to accept the pound, sterling pound. It's backed by gold. Don't you worry." And he had no choice. They had to do it. They were under England. And it destroyed the economy. And that's why the Civil War happened. Because their economy is 60% unemployment, like in less than a year. That's an example of going from the right money system to the wrong one, what happens.
mm,
That's why the Revolutionary War was fought. It wasn't because there was a tax on tea. Like, who cares about the tea tax when everyone is unemployed all around you, man? Right? That's the real reason. Because they wanted an honest system of money. Bitcoin is that honest system of money. And that should fill us all with a lot of hope, because you look at all this poverty around the world and you realize in just in a few short years, with the right leadership, building on the right things, an honest system of money, things would change radically. There could be an explosion of happiness in the world. And all we need to do is fix this one problem, the money problem. Yes, that's all we need to do. Because the money problem is the biggest problem. If you don't fix the money problem, nothing else matters. All the protesting in the world will not, it will not help unless the money problem is fixed. When the money problem is fixed, you better believe that you're also going to get an explosion of cool stuff, scientific breakthroughs, rediscovered after multiple cycles of suppression. All that will emerge as well. It absolutely will emerge. We should have had flying cars 50 years ago, honestly. You can laugh all you want, but it's the truth. I know it in my heart. Humanity is that big. We are that gifted. There's that much amazing technology that we have had in the past, discovered multiple times, that will come back, and it will come back because it can be funded. It can be funded by an honest system of money. And the more of us, by us I mean true believers, young people that want to build a world, that have a vision of a world that is pro-human, the more of us that get that money, the more wealth and resources we'll control, the more we'll be able to fund these amazing new projects and bring this technology out. COVID really shut down a lot of the world. So many people were cut off from each other physically. They didn't even want us to breathe. But now, everyone is waking up.
yeah,
People are waking up faster now than ever. And the awakened people, truly awakened people, are meeting each other and growing stronger. So every time something bad happens to lock things down, something good happens too. I believe a lot more good happens. I believe we're at a very critical juncture in world history right now where humanity has to make a choice. Are we going to take this winning lottery ticket that we have, right? And take that red pill and say, yes, we deserve this. We can do this. We just reject dishonest money and we reject the distractions. And we're going to focus on building what's real right here. Or do we continue to just gamble away our time and watch the world slowly turn into slime? No. We're going to cash in that winning lottery ticket. We all got it. It's our birthright as humans. And now, finally, we have all the tools necessary to put this thing together. We've got Bitcoin. These past 7 years in a company like Paxful have proved the experiment is a success. Bitcoin can actually be useful for real use cases based on exchange of value, not just speculation. Because the Bitcoin narrative now is not largely speculative. That's where most of the volume goes in. And that's bad. That's why the price is so volatile. The peer-to-peer volume is always steadily going up, even during bear markets. This is very important to consider. In the next 2 years, you're going to see an explosion of peer-to-peer traffic. You're seeing it right now. Peer-to-peer is picking up the slack. When the official channels are closed, peer-to-peer opens up. It is peer-to-peer to the rescue. And there's a whole new generation of peer-to-peer traders, whether arbitrage traders, brokers in an OTC trade, what have you. These young champions and young lions and lionesses are defining new standards for financial services. Because they are putting things together better than these old aggregators of the past ever could. And these are young college kids. They start off unemployed, then they have 5 employees, then they have 50. Then thinking, they're signing deals with Visa and Master, like they're doing things like that. And it's all built on top of Bitcoin, peer-to-peer. And they all started out like Christian, like myself. I started off on Paxful 7 years ago, hustling gift cards, getting myself off the streets, right? I lost my place to live. This is very hard in New York City, especially in the winter. And, we all go through hard periods in life where we're just giving up and we don't really want to ask for help because we're so ashamed of ourselves, disgusted with ourselves. But there's actually a way out now, guys. Bitcoin is the most bright, shining star on the horizon. I remember for me, it used to be Ron Paul. I put such faith in Ron Paul. It's like, wow, this guy's a true libertarian. For some people, it was Donald Trump. But, the problem is, like, humans will always fail you. Humans will always fail us. All our idols will always fail us, always. Satoshi Nakamoto, he's anonymous. We don't know who he is. He disappeared, and that was the best thing he did. And that makes Bitcoin so valuable, that there's no attack vector on a human being, because we don't know who this guy is. Awesome, man. This has been great. Is there anything you want to talk about, brother? Put out there, share with the world?
If you're not in Bitcoin, make sure you are, and make sure it's now. And if it's not now, at least within the next year or two. And make sure you have this skill where you can transact with Bitcoin and be able to catch arbitrage opportunities. And it's more importantly have this universal skill, this peer-to-peer finance skill, Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a skill you build
grow
like a
your
language.
wealth, because after all, this is the greatest, the wealth transfer in history that's happening.
It truly is. I'll say it again, we are in the middle of the greatest wealth transfer in history. And this transfer is going to be followed by wealth creation. And that's our job. It's like, okay, wealth is being moved around. But the problem is when something like the Federal Reserve in New York prints up $18 trillion in like 40 years or something like that, they double the amount of money in circulation without any new work being done. In fact, less work was being done because of COVID. That doesn't make the world richer. That actually makes the world poorer. Because the inflation acts as a tax on the people. Because the people that get that money first that benefit from it, everyone else, the value of their spending power goes down, and the cost of the goods goes up, and their salary stays the same. So they're getting destroyed. People are suffering. We now have a tool to fight against all of that, but it has to be peer to peer, because it's easy to take down, one person or one head or one hornet or whatever, but you can't stop an army of little mosquitoes. That's what peer to peer is. It diffuses risk, it decentralizes things away so that we have an option and we can be safe. Because the truth is, guys, we're living in times where a lot of people don't trust their government anymore. Can't really blame them. Certainly don't trust the banks anymore. And the system itself, people now see they can't trust it either. And you really can't, because the system is broken. It is built on debt. It is built on negative energy, predatory practices. And it's always the people on the streets that suffer the most. When we flip this whole thing on its head, it is the people on the streets who will be protected, because they are the ones that have the power, because they only need each other. And no one of us can be targeted. We are safe, and we can build on top of this until we win. I give it 5 to 10 years, and I think we'll have the point where we know we have a definitive victory. Because the money is flowing, wealth is being created, and there's really nothing they can do to stop it. Just lies. Don't believe the lies, guys. Bitcoin is green. Billionaires aren't giving up their private jets. We're not turning down the internet because it uses a lot of electricity. Electricity being used is a very, very small price to pay for honest money. It's hella fast and hella awesome. Thank God for Bitcoin. Thank God for you, brother. It's an honor meeting you, brother.
Yeah.
I respect you tremendously. You're a brilliant young man. And may you have all the success in the world. Si Dios quiere.
Si Dios quiere.
Si
Yeah.
Dios quiere, yes. All right.
All right, guys.
So things are moving pretty fast, huh? Inflation's going up. Used cars are worth more than new ones in America. You're seeing massive inflation here in Colombia. Like, how much would you say inflation has increased over the past few years?
So, if I'm not mistaken, pesos took against a dollar, $1 was, it used to, over 10 years ago, it was 2,000 pesos. Now it's at 4,100 per dollar. It's more than doubled. And here recently, we've hit all-time highs against a dollar. So inflation is rampant right now, and just like how it was in Venezuela, and it's due to these presidential elections going on right now.
Yeah, so geopolitics is a big thing, and we all hate politics. We hate politicians, but it's important to understand what's going on, because if you're not at the table, you're what's on the table, right? So let's look at Venezuela and Colombia. Like, a lot of Venezuelans are here in Colombia because they found refuge here in Colombia, because now Venezuela is poor. Let's not forget that Venezuela used to be the richest Latin American country and one of the richest countries in the world. And then they went from that, and this inflation completely destroyed their economy. People are worried the same might happen in Colombia. God forbid it does. But no matter what happens, you right now can arm yourself with the knowledge to actually make a difference here, first for yourself and potentially for others as well. But in these situations, the first thing you need to do is you need to protect your wealth, right? If you keep a lot of your wealth in Colombian pesos, that might not be a good idea. Cryptocurrency can help you get US dollars via Tether or USDC or Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is volatile, unfortunately, but also makes a great investment. Or at least you can hedge between the two, and you can protect yourself.
And make money.
That's the big one, right? That's what Christian figured out. Besides holding it in something that is secure, that doesn't inflate, you can actually build a business with this capital And you don't have to invest huge sums or anything like that. You can start with $10, $5, but basically you're building your own financial services business, right? That's what you built. You built your own financial services business with Paxful, with drop shipping, with gift cards, and with arbitrage between Colombia and somewhere else in the
Yeah.
world. That's beautiful. I want to hear all about that, but everyone should really understand the importance of this, that we're living in this crazy world. You don't know what's going to happen next. But everything that happens in the world, it's good or bad, even when the bad stuff happens, there's a way out for us now. Because the worst bad stuff that can happen is they start restricting people's money. Besides actually shooting people in a war or something, the next worst thing, the most damaging thing to civilization, is imposing limits on people's ability to spend their money and receive their money. And is this financial economic apartheid that has really kept humanity poor for so long. Now, with Bitcoin and with guys like Christian Torres getting Bitcoin into circulation, using it to solve real problems for people, making it liquid, allowing it to restore the flow of all this trapped money around the world, we're able to finally make use of all these tools and give us everything we need to rebuild civilization, to create wealth for everyone. You know, this building of financial applications, honestly, I've come to see it as more like just rebuilding broken civilization somehow. Like, and this is the kind of medicine this sick patient has been needing. If you give it any other type of medicine to fix any of the other problems, it won't help unless you fix the money problem first. So this is the doctor right here going to work on things, and it's guys like Christian that make up the true backbone of Paxful. It's you, brother. And that's why I respect you so much, and the people that built businesses on Paxful. You are pure, straight entrepreneurs and hustlers. You figure something out, experiment, verify it, keep building, get that product market fit, build for a community, then scale. But it all starts with solving a problem. It's a beautiful process.
Yeah.
Just getting started. This guy's only 25 years old. Oh, my man. Beautiful. Um, I'm not asking you enough questions. I'm just talking here, bro. This is the problem here, man. I need to be asking more questions and flowing with you, and I don't know why I'm not doing that. I'm just being selfish, bro.
Not really. I mean, we're talking, we're covering a lot of good points.
Yeah. But I think that the segments where you spoke were good. Is there something that you want to repeat again? I can ask you. Maybe a question I should ask you and you can answer.
Um, well, it depends what people would be curious about. You know, they're um,
What do you think you want to hear?
making money, um, solutions. You know, at the end of the day, the main problem is money, and this pretty much solution. This is pretty much solution to money, a new money system. So how can people start? You know, how can they take action, join, not be left behind, and you know,
Okay, so Chris, let's talk about some call to actions. You've given us a lot of great knowledge. You've shared your journey with us. You've shared your trade routes with us. Thank you for that juicy info. You want to know what someone's lucrative trade routes are, and a lot of times people don't share it. They give you minimal information because they see you as competition. The good news is there's a lot of opportunity to go around, so don't you worry about that. So, brother, I want you to tell me more a bit about your challenges. You said your biggest one was scaling.
right?
You told us your three biggest gift card
Yeah,
trade routes. One was gift cards, one was arbitrage, and the other one was drop shipping. Right? You gave us some
yeah.
details about
I'd,
that.
I'd say the main things are the foundations which consists of uh, uh, Bitcoin wallet, operational security, um, trade, uh, operation, client, customer coordination, and if you add bots into it,
Automation,
automation,
scaling, yeah.
teams of people, systems, accounts. It's a new solution, finance. It's spawning breeds of financial services, you know, that serve convenience, such as time. Uh, you save money and you do good at the same time. Put liquidity where it is needed, and you serve another market at the same time, and you also benefit. And
Absolutely, guys. I want to emphasize, besides running a profitable business, having this freedom, all awesome things, we really are doing good in the world here because we're serving the people that the banks don't want to deal with. They don't deem them worth their time. They don't have enough money. They're too gray or they're too this or that, right? Who serves those people? No one. And if anyone does serve them, they're taking a lot of money from them. Like these remittance companies, right? They're giving them bad service. Their money is often trapped or lost. That's why they're used to paying 30% to send money somewhere. They're happy they can send it at all. Most of the times, these people don't even want bank accounts if they could get them. Because all they want to do is transmit money. They're not interested in these loans or these complex financial instruments. They don't care about that. Who serves these people? That's what Paxful does. That's what guys that are Christian do on Paxful. They're the guys that are reaching out to the streets, right? And making sure that financial services actually touches the streets. If you can make financial services work on the streets, you're awesome. You're going to be very successful. Promise you that. We've already seen it many times on Paxful. Christian is one of our best success stories, our top trader in Colombia. And I believe if you guys are listening to this right now, all you Colombians out there, you should know that you're actually in one of the best markets ever for Bitcoin, for cryptocurrency, for financial services, for peer-to-peer trading, arbitrage trading. You are one of the best ever, if not the hottest market ever right now. Colombia is acting as a real conduit between Latin America and has made huge corridors happen between Africa and Asia as well. And so much liquidity is going to be moving through Colombia. You can grab a small fraction of that for yourself by adding value there. You will be one of the wealthiest people in the country one day soon. Just like those early traders in Venezuela that got into Bitcoin really early, not by investing in it, but just by using it as a means of exchange. And they built their own little financial services for people around them. But the whole time they were collecting their payment in Bitcoin, a lot of them were saving it, and boom, now they're rich. And these guys didn't get into Bitcoin 10 years ago. They got into the Bitcoin business in Venezuela like 4 years ago, and now they're extremely wealthy. And the same thing can happen to you in Colombia. Because even if you have a lot of Bitcoin and hold it or crypto, you can use it to actually make more money. And this is the biggest opportunity in the world, guys. Christian, your success here, bro. How much does someone need to start doing this? Like, how much capital?
uh, you can start with a few $100 to make money, and pretty much you put up an offer, you add liquidity, which is your investment. You're putting liquidity, and you're accepting a payment method for your liquidity, which at one point was pesos and is Bitcoin, and then finally it converts into its final payment method where you make your percentage, your margin.
Nice. So you can set your own margin for each trade. You set your own price. People
Yeah.
can accept it or not. You can offer a service there. There's a chat, right? Your Bitcoin is held in escrow which safe was Paxful is a safe escrow. We do, and then you have something real. Then you can actually exchange value. That's what the escrow does. All of e-commerce runs on an escrow. It's the auth hold functionality on debit credit cards,
Yeah.
right? That's the kind of escrow. It's only actually taken out of your account once they ship the goods. Right? So that's a simple form of escrow. You can apply this for all OTC transactions, and we combine it with an order book of liquidity, like a global financial bulletin board. You have everything you need for a decentralized marketplace. Combine that with dispute arbitrators and moderators in case of a dispute, and KYC Oracle for people that want a KYC for bigger transactions or what have you. You have everything you really need for a kind of really governance of civilization here. Because most of governance, 99.9% of it is about money anyway, right?
Yeah.
So this is really what we need to kind of rebuild civilization here. And we have it. It's been working for the past 7 years. We have 10 million users and amazing traders and business people like Christian here building on top of it. So we're always thinking about how can we serve people better next. Christian, what tools would you like us to give you as a top trader on Paxful? API tools, dev tools, business development tools, what? What would help your business?
And it's useful for everybody to use this as a tool. So your question, what tools to improve this? Well, in my case, scaling, more people. So there's definitely room for a lot of people to make money.
Your primary thing is not really that you want us to build more tools, but we bring you customers, right? Like we bring you liquidity, right?
Yeah.
So
More
the more
liquidity, stronger trade routes.
yeah,
Because you can build bots, you can connect to API bots and scale volume all you want, but you need systems and people working together, trading together, making money together to scale this.
you can automate things with
Yeah.
bots using our
Yeah.
API, which is very nice. It's powerful. Because if you can automate this, you can scale up pretty fast. You can make a lot of money. Some people make millions of dollars a year on Paxful, just with gift cards alone, or just with online wallets, or whatever trade route they've managed to build out. People have really managed to scale, and but most of them have done it with bots, of course. You need to automate certain parts of the procedure, which works. Cool. I think we can end it here, man. I
Yeah.
don't know how much more talking we can do.
Yeah.
This is good. Good job, bro. That was awesome.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, and make sure that if you're not in this now, to be in this now, as soon as possible, no longer than in the next year or two, so stay tuned, uh, follow our social media, you can find Paxful anywhere, Paxful on Instagram, Ray Paxful, me, Bitcoin Torres, and Dollar Cryptos. So follow, keep updated, and there's more content to come, where you're going to learn everything from operational security, risk management, how to convert currencies, how to do remittance, make money, gift cards, that goes in with the risk management, chat communication, with depending on what level of what type of customer or what kind of operation you're doing, and tying it all together and scaling this and creating your own market, getting more people in your team and trading with you and growing wealth for each other, because at the end of the day, this affects the economy for the good, and the world for good. civilization for good. What do you think?
Gusto Colombia.
Yeah.
Just get out there, guys. Get started. This is a time in history that will define legends. You want to be that benefactor of your family that your children look up to and say, wow, daddy or mommy did this and everyone else didn't. And that's going to make the difference in your life. Right? There's some people here who have done it. We've shared our stories with you because we want you to succeed. We really do. And I think we can build a beautiful world these next few years. This next decade will be something tremendous. It's going to be completely crazy, local mundo. But we have all the tools necessary now to win as a united front. Peer-to-peer, humans helping humans. Bitcoin was just the start. We're building the rest on top of it. It's not a scam. It's not speculation. It's real business. And the business that's needed most, the business of allowing people to use their money. If you just open that up, everyone will be rich, guys, because we don't understand how locked down the system really is for people around the world. That's why they're poor. It's not because they're lazy. It's because the system has been working against them. They have been locked out there in a prison for money. And now we have the magic key, opening it up, and everyone's free because the money flows, wealth is created. See you all next time.
See y'all next time.